So is it true that a lot of people in the US can't afford to go to the doctor? Yeah, medical care is expensive here, especially if you don't have insurance.
I know that you're just trying to be helpful, but can you please stop assuming that I have a primary care physician, that I can just go to the gastro, that I can go to the PT? Like, most of us don't have any of those. We're American. We can't afford it.
This next message goes out to the American healthcare system. The prices are fucking astronomical.
When was the last time something fell off with your body? I'm talking about like a pain that wouldn't really go away, or maybe a symptom that you really just couldn't explain to other people. Something that made you think maybe I should probably get that checked out. Like, I'm talking about that kind of pain in your body. And your very next thought wasn't really, oh, I should call a doctor. But instead it was, I wonder how much this is going to cost. If you hesitated just now, it's because you already know the answer to that question. Because in America in 2026, getting sick isn't just a health problem anymore, okay? This is a financial one. And for millions of Americans, the financial problem is so terrifying that they would rather gamble with their health than face what a doctor's visit or a test or a diagnosis or, God forbid, a hospital stay is going to do to their bank account. I never thought we would get to this point, but we have really reached a point in this country where people are doing the math on their own bodies, and that is one of the most disturbing things that I have ever had to say out loud. Let me tell you what that actually looks like in real life, though. It looks like a 34-year-old skipping their annual physical because their deductible resets in like January, and they can't really afford to burn through on a checkup, right? They can't they can't afford the checkup, guys. That's just what's really going on out here. It also looks like someone cutting their prescriptions in half to make it last twice as long because the refill isn't in the budget for this month. It may also look like a parent taking their kid to urgent care instead of the emergency room, not because urgent care is the right call medically, but because the ER copay will set them back $500 that they don't really have. It looks like people Googling their symptoms at night instead of calling a doctor because WebMD is free and the doctor visit isn't. Which I ain't gonna lie, I've done that a couple of times. And that last one that I think most people can really relate to should stop us all like cold, honestly, because that is not a healthcare system. That is literally some kind of like hostage situation. And I want to talk about medical debt specifically because this is a conversation that this country keeps refusing to have, honestly. Medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy in the United States. Not bad investments, not reckless spending, medical debt. That's what's leading the charge out here. People going to the hospital because their body broke down and coming home to find out that their finances broke down with it is some of the most... It's a sad thing to experience. The average emergency room out here costs over $2,000 before they even run a single test on you. A 3-day hospital stay can actually run you $30,000. An ambulance ride, just a ride, can cost $1,000 or more, depending on where you live at and how far the drive is. And here's the part that really should make every single person watching this kind of furious, because you don't really find out how much all this stuff is going to cost until it all happens afterwards. You don't get like a menu like at a restaurant. You don't get a quote. You get sick, you get treated, and then weeks later you get a bill in the mail that can genuinely alter the entire financial trajectory of your life. If you have ever delayed care because of the cost, if you have ever stared at a medical bill and felt like your stomach drop, if you have ever even had to choose between your health and your rent, I need you to know something, guys. That choice should never be yours to make. This should never even come to like the thought of our heads, like to where we are battling for our own health or rent. Like, I never thought this would even get to the point. Healthcare out here is not a privilege, okay? It is not a reward for being wealthy enough or employed enough or even lucky enough to have the right insurance. It is a basic human need. In a country that makes its working people choose between their bodies and their bank accounts is not a country that is working for the people that are living in it. Americans cannot afford to get sick anymore. And the sickest part of it all, the system that's making us choose, is perfectly healthy. It's never been more profitable, actually. It's the people inside it who are being bled dry. And that is the average American.
So is it true that a lot of people in the US can't afford to go to the doctor? Yeah, medical care is expensive here, especially if you don't have insurance. Well, how do people get insurance? I mean, a lot of people get insurance from their job. Oh, okay, so as long as you have a job, you get insurance. Oh, no. So it has to be a full-time job, and also it has to be the right employer, and then even then, like, different jobs offer different benefits, so it kind of just depends. Oh God, okay. But if you have a really good job, and you have really good benefits, then it's all free, right? What? No, it's not free, you still have to pay. Okay. And if you don't make a lot of money and your job isn't that great, you might have horrible benefits or no benefits, which means going to the doctor is extra expensive. Oh yeah, no, it bankrupts people, actually. What about emergencies? Like, how do people live like that? Have you heard of GoFundMe?
Hot take! If your doctor recommends that you get a diagnostic test done to figure out what's going on with your symptoms, you should be able to afford to go get that diagnostic test done to figure out what's going on with your symptoms without going into medical debt. Furthermore, you should be able to call your insurance company or your provider, and they should be able to tell you how much that is going to cost you. Ow, I kept my hand on a thing, but I can't afford to go to the doctor. Can't afford to go to the... Everything's fine. Everything is good.
I know that you're just trying to be helpful, but can you please stop assuming that I have a primary care physician, that I can just go to the gastro, that I can go to the PT? Like, most of us don't have any of those. We're American. We can't afford it. It's too outrageously expensive. You want me to pay nearly $1,000 a month just in case I have to go? And then when I have to go, I still have to pay $100 or so. And that's just to get the diagnosis. After that, it's like, how many thousands are we looking at to actually treat the problem you just diagnosed me with? Like, we need to move past that. We are at the age where you can just assume that we don't have that. So when you're giving us the remedy, the thing we should do, start just saying, if you have a primary care physician, if you have access to X, Y, or Z, then please go. But for most of you, here's what you need to do at home. That's the age that we're in now. And it's only going to get worse because the new administration is coming for Social Security and Medicare. So it's time. Stop assuming. Thanks.
I grew up in a family where we never, ever called the doctor. We were only going if something was broken or something was bleeding. So needless to say, we never went to the doctor. I never, ever went to the doctor growing up. Tell me why that's how I grew up, and then I married a hypochondriac. And marrying a hypochondriac is actually so crazy. The thoughts that they actually have about something being wrong, like any minor inconvenience or anything that feels weird to them, they are like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. It's probably cancer. I need to go get this checked out. And it's not like I don't have like those thoughts either, but I'm like, meh, it'll go away. But a hypochondriac will not stop thinking about it until they go see a doctor.
I cannot afford to have my surgery because I cannot afford to be off for 6 weeks without pay. I need a hysterectomy, which is a serious surgery with 6 weeks recovery. I struggle to take care of my kids. My daughter is my top priority. So when I have to choose between my job and my health, I choose my job. Wow. A lot of days I am at work and I can barely breathe or stand up, but I still have to be here. So these things are what I'm dealing with at Ryder, along with the other things that me and my coworkers put in our OSHA complaint.
Can somebody explain to me, like I'm 5, why there are no doctor's offices taking new patients, but then you can't go see a specialist for the actual issue you have without going to a primary care to get a referral? But you can't get into a primary care because nobody takes new patients? And then my health insurance website will tell me that somebody's taking new patients, and when I call them, they talk to me like I'm stupid. Like, we don't take new patients. What are you talking about? I just need health care. You know what I mean? And if I'm paying this much money per month for health insurance out of my own pocket, shouldn't I be able to get health care? I swear the US is so screwed.
For those of you who are not American, I want you to understand what a fucking scam our healthcare system is. So I don't have health insurance right now. I don't have dental insurance right now. Yes, they're separate here. And my tooth just cracked off. So I am shit out of luck, okay? That's it. That's the answer. People are like, well, what are you gonna do? Your tooth cracked in half. Nothing. Nothing. I'm just gonna wait for the other half to crack off and fall out. Because this system is a scam. And then people are like, why are people so mad about the healthcare industry? Because it's the fucking mafia. That's why people are mad about it. If we actually lived in a civilized country, everybody would have access to healthcare here. Everybody. And it would not be tied to your job, okay? You would just have it as a part of the way we pay taxes for firemen. And if so that, you know, we don't have to show our insurance card yet. I know if the oligarchs have it and the ruling class have it their way, we will soon. And they'll privatize the fire department as well. But right now, we still have it in a system where we all pay taxes, and then if we need to call the fire department, we call the fire department. That's how health insurance should be. But the ruling class has convinced enough people in this country that it has to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. Because I know that I'm not the only fucking person right now that is now sitting here with a jagged ass cracked crown on the back of my teeth that's poking into the side of my fucking jaw, and I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it. I've had dental fucking problems my whole fucking life. So many dental problems. And you know what? They get worse and they compound on each other because I haven't had the money to fix them.
This next message goes out to the American healthcare system. The prices are fucking astronomical. We need a rework of the whole goddamn system. It's like you pay every month for the insurance, you pay when you get to the doctor, and then you pay for whatever insurance don't feel like paying. It's getting so bad, God forbid, I might need like a surgery or something, like a leg amputation. I get halfway through the surgery and start thinking about the price. I might be like, you know what, just put the leg back on. Just put it back on. A few years ago, I went to an urgent care for a little bit of pain. I walked out that building with a $2,000 bill and a prescription for some Tylenol. I could have just went to CVS. Like sometimes I don't even want to go to the hospital because I know it might cost me an arm and a leg, literally and figuratively. When I go to the hospital, I be scared of the bill more than I am the diagnosis. What kind of shit is that? Like, I ain't got all the answers, but we need to find something real goddamn soon. Sincerely, an upset patient.